Earlier today, I was receiving notifications from a radio station. The app on my phone was giving notifications, and like really early this morning while I was at another employer. And because of that, of course, I was opening them up, reading them as is in real time. And what was going on with surprisingly was that there was I'm sure many people know by now, is that there was a leaked report or so, or an opinion poll of the Supreme Court, supposedly that majority of the people on the majority of justices on the Supreme Court want to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, if that was to happen, that would be fantastic. That would show me like, oh, okay, well, like a lot of people like to use the commonly overused line or trope is, wow, I now have faith in humanity, or this gives me faith in humanity. Well, this legit does give me faith in humanity, because the entire legalizing abortion, making it illegal for and accessible for for people, but it's for women, making it accessible for women in this country, in the United States of America. It was such a monumental decision that the president, Joe Biden, he immediately, well, not really, you know how fast he moves, but that he swiftly came back and with his own, and made a statement just recently, I think about like 2 hours ago or so, or 3 hours ago at the time of the video, this upload, and made a statement that he wants to continue to leave abortion legal and accessible to women, and always going about and calling it, as he used the line, and many in the CDC and any other organization, Planned Parenthood, have used the line that it is health care. Last time I checked, there are no procedures that 100% guarantees the death of a life, the ending a life. There are no procedures that 100% guarantee, that makes that guarantee, but except for this one. So therefore, it's not healthcare. Come on. But it's the guise of it being healthcare. Now I think about it, where many people should be considering. Okay, well, not just this administration, but there is a particular wing, the Democrat Party, those who want to continue to leave, who strongly support and strongly advocate for this. And again, they call it utilizing the guise of healthcare, and in order to make it possible. Even though Planned Parenthood, I recall a tweet on from a long time, like last year, when it was I think it was John Legend. His wife had a miscarriage, and Planned Parenthood sent out a tweet. We want to send condolences for you losing your son. So Planned Parenthood, the organization, acknowledge that one is a human child, and also the gender of said child. So Planned Parenthood knows that these are human beings inside the womb. Science, the most rudimentary form of biology, and if you wanted to go in the nitty gritty and actually study from a biological standpoint, these are children. These are human beings. They don't become children, well, once they come out the side of the womb, once they're what's the word is, vitality, or whatever it is, I don't know. But once they emerge from the womb, or they're passing through the birth canal, anything, no, they don't just become human beings like SpongeBob with the meme. No, the imagination meme. That's what you got to use. These are human beings from the moment of conception, when the sperm fertilizes with the egg. I know I'm talking about the birds and the bees now. When the sperm fertilizes with the egg, and then so many months, a small amount of time later, a sliver amount of time later, and then on and on and on throughout the gestation period, that child is, say, the size of my fingernail, probably my thumbnail, the size of my thumbnail, and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and the child becomes bigger. And then when the child emerges from the womb, I remember when I first held my son, he was just about as long as my forearm. and I held him in my on my forearm. I balanced him like that as I looked at him. So it's a miraculous process that is, again, I use the word miracle, miraculous, because that's exactly what it is. No one can truly explain how that child, with his own DNA, his own heart, his own set of DNA, his own set of brain waves, heartbeat, all these things, 5 fingers, 10 fingers, 10 toes, all that stuff, can say this is the woman's body. That's complete foolishness. It, what really hurt was, as I was listening to a news program from the same station a little bit ago, about an hour ago or so, is there was the news reporter. He was covering this. Well, the talk show host was covering this opinion poll that was leaked, and was saying that there was a woman, a caller who's Roman Catholic, because she mentioned her rosary, and she even said she's Catholic, and they just sit out and they silently pray at the feminist centers. Okay, I've seen pictures of this. I've seen this firsthand as I've joined alongside my brothers, Jason Cantrell and others at the feminist centers, and we have seen the Roman Catholics on the other side of the yard, and they're praying with statues of Mary and such, which is idolatry, by the way, but I digress. And yes, but I want to point you to Romans 10:14 and 10:15, because it speaks about the necessary burden, per se, that there must be laborers in the vineyards actually actively going out and speaking, using their words. I remember this is the foolish line, the really silly line that says, preach the gospel, if necessary, use words. No, that's stupid. Preach the gospel, always use your words, because the Bible says use your words. The gospel says this right there in Isaiah chapter 6, when Isaiah had the burning coal touched on his lips, and Yahuwah the Almighty was on the throne and asked him, who shall I send? Well, asked in the general audience, I guess, who shall I send? And Isaiah, you can see it, you can visualize this whole scene. He said, he's raising his hand and says, here I am, Yahuwah, send me. Send me into those laborers, send me into those vineyards, so that I can be like Jeremiah, so I can be like Isaiah, so I can be like Ezekiel, and preach the gospel using my words. Because by using my words, if I have a bullhorn, if I have a megaphone, if I have a voice amp, or if I'm just going a cappella like you've seen me in my previous videos, is I'm just speaking from my natural voice and projecting my voice, and yeah, it might be hoarse for about 5 or 6 or 7 days, but it is what it is. But if I am preaching the gospel and I'm seeing fruit, because my friends, again, Jason, he shows videos and shows photos and gives praise reports of turnaways from this feminist centers. So these people, yeah, they could say that the talk show host, the radio, and the Catholic woman, they can say, oh, no, that's a bad thing. They're giving a negative light on Christians because they're using, and they're yelling at these women, they're harassing them, better. Are you sure about that? Because I hear the gospel being preached, and I see fruit being born right before my own 2 eyes, as well as other brothers, men and women, as well as there are children out there as well, who are out there with their signs and projecting their voices for the hope that some of those lives, some of the voiceless will be saved, as well as those, dare I say, I'm not going to even use the term, but at least those mothers who they say are scared, but the majority of them I see, they want to go through that. They want to go through the procedure because they don't want the responsibility. Mothers and fathers, they want to go through that responsibility. So stop with that lie. If you're not on the front lines and actively engaging, speaking to these people face to face and having them get in your face and yelling at you, and if you're not there, then you can't really make that claim that what we're preaching, and that we're just berating them and yelling at them and being mean. Stop it. This bill, or this opinion poll, again, if Roe v. Wade, like many have said in the by and by and throughout the course of the day, if Roe v. Wade may genuinely be overturned this summer, and this administration wants to try to counter that, strange how it's going to counter it, because in November wants to add more, more left-leaning justices on the panel, on the board, so that, well, in a court, so that this will not happen, I guess. But if it is actually overturned, it would be a monumental decision. President Biden actually said that this is radical, that people actually think this way, that they want to overturn Roe v. Wade. Unfortunately, the majority of this country, the United States of America, is about, I looked at the numbers, it's about 69% in the article I'll post. Is 69% of Americans don't want it. They want it to be, just leave it as is. And only a small 29%, I would say still almost a third, 29% want to overturn it. So you take that as how it is. But Joe Biden saying that this is radical, that people actually want to overturn it, I think it's radical that it's even been put into law, that's even legal. That's radical. That's completely radical, because, again, Planned Parenthood themselves acknowledge on Twitter that this is a living human being. That child was a human being. Those are human beings inside the womb. They acknowledge that. The CDC cannot say that it's not the case. All of these liberal colleges cannot say that that's not the case. If a person is truly honest, a biology professor is truly honest with himself, with his with his research, and true to science. You say follow the science. Well, let's follow the science. Stop ending these lives of the voiceless. But instead, follow the science as you say it, and stand up for their right. Stand up for them. How great that would be if all of these who were once for it have a complete change of heart, like Saul of Tarsus, have a complete change of heart and reversal of opinion, and begin to support that which they once hated. Begin to preach that which they once denounced. Amazing.